Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Fyxshion Reydiou. Here I have Shinja once again here. We're going to be talking about Gungrave. So Shinja, how was Gungrave to you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about it first?
Sure. So Gungrave was one of those animes that I'd always known was the classic. You hear its name and you're like, oh, yeah, that one was the big guns and the dude with the big trench coat. It's like, what?
Oh yeah.
You put it up there with like, uh, Hellsing or like other anime like that. It's got that feel and it's from that era. Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. Um, and so right off the bat, I'm just gonna tell everyone. Episode 1 is nothing like the rest of the series.
Yeah.
You could probably skip episode 1
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to. But I still watched it. Don't go into the series like after episode 1 thinking it's all gonna be just like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's nice to have that as a kind of like it's one of those animes or shows that does this whole like loop in time sort of thing where it starts with the future, takes you through the past, and the whole anime is the past, and then at the end you're back to what they showed you at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the anime Gungrave is about this young man. His name's Brandon Heat. He's our protagonist, along with Harry McDowell. They're two good friends, and unfortunately, they lived a hard life. They grew up in the slums. They had a couple friends who they were like really tight with, and their goal was just to kind of like join the mafia or like a big gang, and kind of get big there. So they got into a lot of trouble. Obviously, they like fight the wrong people sometimes. They like were trying to like constantly like pickpocket some people, try to do little crimes here and there, and it would either end with them getting beat up or beating other people up.
Mm-hmm.
But Brandon here, he like as the anime goes on, you learn he's just a really quiet soul who just loves his friends dearly. Like they're the most important thing to him, and so he will do anything for his friends, especially Harry and his love interest Maria Asagi.
Yes.
And Maria, like you see her multiple times throughout the anime, but like Brandon is like clearly in love with her, and he will like risk his life or do anything to like save her or just do the best for her. So like Harry and Maria are like his two greatest motivations. So the whole anime basically just goes through Harry and Brandon eventually joining like a mafia slash. It's more of a than a gang. I mean, a mafia
Yeah.
like is a gang, but they join the mafia. They climb up the ranks, gaining the trust of the different heads and whatnot. And then there's all that drama that comes with like like mafia households and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like if you like The Godfather, like you'll kind of like this, like The Godfather, but anime.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you get crazy gunfights and ridiculous like hairs sometime and like unrealistic guns. Like it's a little more quote unquote badass. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
extremely badass. Like.
very Yeah, it's a lot badass. It's
Yeah.
really fun. It was really fun to watch, especially like I said, going in, I didn't know what it was. Like episode 1, it makes it look like it's a vampire hunting like anime.
Yeah. I
You're like,
felt. Yeah. I felt it was more like a promotion for the video game. It just
yeah,
felt that
it
way.
sort
Yeah.
of is. I mean, like it kind of gives you like backstory to the video game because the video game doesn't play any of this story, obviously.
Yeah, it's just
The more
only
it skips to the
yeah,
end.
it's just beyond the grave part, and that's it.
Yeah. Um. So, yeah, it was a very different expectation. Like you start
Yeah,
off with like, oh, like wow, there's like weird genetically mutated vampire things, and you're this dude with like a big coffin thing that has his guns in it. It's like, are you a vampire too? Like, what's going on here? And it's like this just proves that it's like in anime, any shit makes sense at the end. Like you can just come up with the weirdest ideas and wrap it all up together. It's like, oh yeah, it was just a normal mafia family and drugs, lots of drugs. Yeah, that's how we ended up here.
yeah. Oh gosh. Oof. All right. So let's see. So of course, this is an anime that has been adapted from the video game, the PlayStation 2 video game. I think it was Gungrave Overdose. There's a
Right.
second game, but it wasn't from that. But it's the same universe. So yeah, the video game came out first, and then the anime came out later on. Maybe like at least 2 years after or 1 year after. I don't remember, but it was a PlayStation 2 game.
That
Um,
sounds about right.
the what?
I said that sounds about right. It's a very common thing in
Yes,
Japan.
yes, yeah. Or vice versa, the anime first, and then the video game. But
Yeah,
in this case, it's the other way around. So it's based on that, but the anime tries to go to another type of storytelling in which these two friends, so Brandon Heat and Harry McDowell, um, they actually are hardcore friends until something happens between them, and
yeah,
it's wow. It's more impactful when you see it, because I mean, this is something you don't see in the video game. This is only anime, and the anime does a great job on making it half, because I think the first half was just them being these kinds of people, and the other half is just like way like damn, like bam, like there's
yeah.
different people, and it was shocking, and the
Yeah.
level of
It,
story.
it
Yes.
I was gonna say the character development was like
Oh yeah.
really great.
Yes.
Like spoiler alert, Brandon and Harry won't they stop being friends.
Yeah.
Like big surprise there. Um, but moment you see like Harry like kind of you know that okay he's basically gone down the dark road now. Like it's too late for him.
Mhm.
It's like you slowly gradually see him getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
It's just like it's great story development. It feels slow sometimes because of that, but like
It's just amazing.
it's very like good. Like you don't end up hating any of the characters except maybe Harry.
Yeah. I think Harry is the like hated, like, and, I think the organization was like Millennium, something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think it was named
Uh,
Millennium or something like that. His mafia name or
yeah,
something.
I
Yeah.
think it might have. Yeah, you might be right. It's Millennium
Yeah.
ringing a
So.
bell to me.
Yeah.
I'm
So.
trying to remember the drug that they used because like at some point, they're trying to like make it transition from like this mafia story, like Gungrave to Beyond the Grave,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, so we have this drug that like mutates people, or it's something like along the lines of it brings back the dead or something like that. I can't
Yes.
remember.
This is where the video game comes in. Like, the video game is called Overdose.
Right.
Yeah,
Hence
it's
the drug.
exactly. That's it. And there's a um the besides the story, there's also the music, and I fell in love with the music in this one. It's really unique. It has this mellow guitar. It's excuse me. It has this. I even fell in love with the ending, with the ending theme, and actually the ending itself, like the animation, like Harry and Brandon are in a car and then they're running in a sunset. That is just nostalgic. Right? I
It's
was like,
like
man, like, and the song was about a sunset. The band is called Scooby Doo. It's weird, but it's a Japanese band. It's my favorite
right.
Japanese band ever since I heard about this song. And yeah, it's something about a sunset. I can't remember right now, but Scooby Doo is my favorite band just because of this anime. And not just that, but the whole soundtrack of this series is just, you're gonna cry. Like, this anime will put you in tears, especially the ending.
Yeah. It gets, oh man, it's just like it gets tough halfway through because you're like, oh no, no, come on, man, this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
It's heartbreaking. It for me it was a better ending than the, of course, the video game, because the video game ended like really Hollywood style. Yeah, with the protagonist winning with the explosion behind, like, oh god, this is really Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah, I have the game myself. I still haven't finished it, but I already watched the ending. It's a really fun game, but it's very freaking hard since it's a PlayStation 2 game. But I still have it. There's a new game for for Gungrave. It's a VR game, and I will get the VR
Oh,
just for
yeah.
that game. Just how fan I am with this freaking world and anime. Oh
I
god.
had no idea
Yeah,
there was
dude.
a VR game.
I mean, tell
I have to
Dan.
look this up right
Yeah,
now.
tell Dan to, ask Dan, like, can I borrow your VR so I can play this game?
Oh, this was like they presented the trailer during E3 this year.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. So even this is an old anime. Of course, this was first a video game, but still today this anime is so impactful. So yeah, let's go with the characters. So yeah, Shinja. We were talking about characters earlier, but who is your favorite character?
Well, my favorite character has to be Bear Walken, probably. He's like
I think he's the
from the
only
beginning of
black
the
dude.
series. He's the only black dude, but he's the most like badass motherfucker
Yeah, yeah.
in like, the series. Just because like he's always like he's the older, wiser guy. You know, he's also very sympathetic, and you like I immediately like kind of like felt sympathetic for him because he was basically doing everything he did for his daughter
Mhm. Yeah.
in the anime. So like the guy had a pretty good sense of like righteousness and like loyalty and
Mhm.
stuff, but like he would like give up on all of that just to guarantee his daughter's like safety and like the best for her. And so I was really sympathetic for him because I could never feel truly bad for what he did.
Mhm.
Um, but it was still disappointing to see how like he ended up. Now, he was also just like a freaking like samurai dude. Like you didn't expect
Yeah.
it. Like you see his house at one point, and he's like got this long ass katana. He's in a kimono. You know, he's got the sliding doors. It's like, wait, where
Mhm.
is this set again? Like, why are you a Japanese dude? You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't look anything like it.
Yeah,
But
and most of these characters don't actually act or are Japanese. It's just so it's
the
just
like the
different.
whole thing isn't really set in Japan.
Exactly the point. Yeah.
It's like some sort of like European slum
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, except eventually, they're not in a slum. It's I think like the closest place that you could get is like somewhere in Italy.
Yeah, of course, just because of the mafia stuff and all that.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, technically, it could be anywhere in the U.S., maybe in the
Yeah.
U.K. It's a made up world, so it's like
Yeah.
they can get away with anything, really.
Yeah, they can. Yes. Let's see. My favorite character, which I totally forgot his name, Boondi, right? Was it? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Bungie.
Jesus Christ,
He's
yes.
got the cigarette and the sunglasses. Yeah.
Yes, and I think one handgun, if I'm not mistaken, or two handguns. Two handguns.
He's got two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got two
He's,
handguns.
he had this whole thing where he was like, he used to be a hitman at first, I think,
Yeah.
wasn't he? And he was like had the best aim out of
Oh
everyone.
yes, exactly. Yeah, and he used to help a lot Brandon Heat through his, I think it was halfway, because then this guy totally changed. Like
Yeah, there's
um
this whole battle that happens between Brandon and Bungie,
yeah,
and like
yeah. About the
out of the heat of
betrayal.
battle, it's like, I was like, you're cool. I'm gonna follow you.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not a bad guy
yeah.
anymore.
So yeah, this guy is my favorite because he actually develops very well in the series. Also, he helps Brandon Heat. I think it was before and after he got betrayed. Yeah, about the betrayal.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a little back and forth.
Yeah, it was
Kind of like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's like everyone near the end of the anime was like, yeah, this is kind of like not worth it. Like
Yeah,
you were right all along, Brandon.
yeah, exactly. It's a turnaround if once you see the ending. And just because this character is my favorite is that he totally battled beyond the grave. How I always wanted a freaking gunfight, because he brought that gunfight and is one of the best gunfights I've seen in all this time. Really, it's just, I have never seen such a gunfight, not even in Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They talk about how Brandon and Beyond the Grave basically don't look like the same person.
No, they
either.
don't.
It's like he grew like an extra like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Like he's a giant. His body's stacked. His hair is gray, and then like
His
yeah,
skin
he's
tone.
just a monster.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because he's like a zombie
Yeah.
vampire thing now.
Beyond the grave.
Right. I like how like they're like, oh, don't call him Brandon anymore. That's not his name. He's now beyond the grave. It's like, well, is that his name, or are you just saying like he's like dead, or like it's like, and then like everyone talks to him, it's like, oh, beyond the grave, son. I was like,
Yeah. I think in one point of the series we all thought he was freaking dead.
multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna lose our protagonist already.
Yeah. It's a little crazy.
It is. It is.
Especially like after it ends the beyond the grave phase, it's kind of like,
Oh yeah.
well, everyone's kind of like immortal or also superhuman, so that means everyone can get shot a lot more, right?
The overdose.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But yeah, it's this particular world is more If you like guns and if you like gunfights, holy freaking shit, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
The gunfight that well, Boondi versus Brandon Heat Beyond the Grave. That was the one of the best in the series. There's more shooting, but that's my best. That is my favorite fight. As for myself. Is there
Right.
other fights that I don't remember that you remember, Shinja?
I mean, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Like all the epicest fights really happen like during the Beyond the Grave portion of the anime. Um,
Yeah.
there is one that happens at a warehouse with this random dude that it's Brandon and Bungie teaming up
Yeah.
that I really liked. And it was against one of the first like drugged up one of the overdosed dudes.
He was part of the
Uh,
Millennium, right?
I don't think he was part of Millennium. Uh, I can't remember whether I'm pretty sure they were there because they were trying to get rid of Brandon.
Yeah, that's I think that yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But Bungie was still part of Brandon's team.
Exactly, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was like that first part where like like oh, normal bullets don't work, so they had to get like super creative with what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, like trigger explosions everywhere. It's like shit, what are we gonna do? Like it was pretty intense.
Oh yes. So what else about this series besides the music? Well, the animation. I think the animation was from Madhouse, one of the most expensive and the most iconic, of course. Like we
Yeah.
love how Madhouse actually animates these kinds of things, and
I just love the detail they put into everything. For
yeah.
the technology that they had at the time, it all looks
Mhm.
like movie quality,
Exactly. This was early 2000, and I give them
And like
props.
you have to be that detailed when you're like showing off like really like detailed guns and like
Mhm.
an outfit and stuff. It all just needs to like, look extra detailed. 'Cause otherwise it's just gonna look kind of like crap. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it won't have that same impact. Especially like the first time any of the new weapons are revealed, like you get these really close up shots that make the guns look
Oh
like
yeah,
humongous,
love
like
those guns.
10 times bigger than they are. It's like, holy shit, where'd you pull out that cannon? I was like, oh, it's a handgun, except it's like a really, really big one.
Yes, I was once trying to buy them on eBay, but they were freaking expensive. I was like, oh my god, they look so good, like just like the anime, but they were
Yeah,
just
all
too
those
expensive.
replicas and stuff usually like cost
Yeah,
a frick ton.
yeah, and there were airsofts too, though airsoft guns of those, and they were even more expensive. I'm like, oh shit. And totally love those
Airsoft
guns.
gun.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting and funny to think about. Like
Uh-huh.
if they're like painted and look exactly like they do in the anime, that's a different case. But if they're just like orange and shit, like it's funny to think about.
Oh yeah. No, that's um so about that they were even selling the outfit from the for Beyond the Grave, like, and it was still
Uh,
expensive
the
too.
I bet the coat,
Yeah.
the trench coat would be cool.
Oh yeah, man. It's just I I got so inspired from this anime, and as for today, I still think this stands up of being one of my best top 10 anime, um because it's so inspiring. This is it was this one and Trigun that got me into guns, to liking guns. Of course, not in a violent way, but you know, it's the art of it. You know,
Yeah,
it's it's a weird feeling, but at the same time, this anime totally like blew my mind away, and how it ended, how all these characters end up being, because everyone had development, whether it was good, whether it was bad, and that is one of the most awesome thing that I think it was like 25 episodes only, right?
Beyond the Grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20. I almost want to say it was only 13, but it probably is 25 because I was like, no, that would have been too short.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, it was just only like 20 plus episodes, and that's it. Telling a really good ass story, and I give them props because the direction that they pulled off, especially the ending, I so love the ending. It's, man, like, I cannot stop thinking about it because it's one of the most. It's unfair, but at the same time, is the most natural thing that could happen to these characters in real life, in a fictitious, in a fictitious kind of, world, of course, bringing it into a reality. But yeah, I just love it how it ended. It's just like I cried every time I see these two characters. Like, man. I know it's an old
It
anime.
was
I
a
really
very
don't want to
emotional.
spoil it, but it's just you need to see it.
Yeah, it's very emotional. It's definitely one of those like man bromance sort of
Oh yeah,
feels.
yeah.
But it's like
It's
it
not
leads up
gay.
to that.
It's not gay.
No, it's maybe just a little,
Yeah, but
but it's like
yeah.
you feel so sad for Brandon at the end
Hmm.
because like all he wanted
Even
was to
Harry.
help his friend.
Even Harry.
For Harry, a little bit because
Yeah,
for Harry,
yeah,
it's
but
like it's like
it's a
dude,
mixed
it's
feeling.
like
It's a mixed feeling.
it
It's
it
mixed.
could have been better than this. But specifically Brandon, you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
He wanted to be the best homie, and
Mhm.
like fucking Harry let it go to his head and was just like, well,
Yeah.
gotta kill Brandon now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like these kinds of friendship that it teaches a lot too. It has a really strong message, and I I fully recommend this to anyone who likes guns, who likes mafia, who likes good storytelling. And this was well written. This is just a masterpiece. Just to be honest, because there's not a lot of animes like that today. Because they're kind of like afraid to go on that type of thing, because it goes to, it has its own dark stuff in it, not like kinds of demons and all that. It's not that. It's more
No,
like,
it's just like serious topics in a
exactly,
way.
yeah, those kinds of stuff. And I loved it because of it. uh and yeah, I mean, man, I still want that game, that VR game, bro. I want to
I was
feel
watching
like
clips of it.
beyond
It
the
looked
grave.
interesting. Yeah. There, I just saw a clip of like I remember this and I don't know how I forgot now, but like there's a clip of you being on top of a car shooting
Oh
at stuff. I
yeah.
was like, oh, that's like from episode 1. Like,
Yes. Oh man,
yeah,
this
that would
anime.
be cool.
So yeah, anything else you want to talk about this anime before we close this podcast, Shinja?
Uh, I mean, there's not much more to say, but it's like you said, it's definitely truly a classic. I would
Yes.
put it up there with like uh Hellsing and like you said, Trigun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like those are like the trinity when it comes to like
Yeah.
big guns and
Yep.
like cloaks and like just looking badass overall. Except Hellsing has,
Mhm.
vampires and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Of course.
That's a
Yeah.
little darker in
Yeah.
that
That's
way
dark.
where it's
Yeah.
like, it's
Mhm.
got occult stuff.
Mhm.
But like really like don't like if you're looking for a good like drama, because that's kind of like what it is,
Yeah. It
like
is. Yeah.
drama, but it's not like your telenovela sort of thing
Right.
where
Of
it's like
course.
snapping close-ups to like everyone like revealing betrayal and whatnot. It's like, no, like it's actually an interesting plot, um, good character development, and you just kind of just the whole time intrigued, like what's gonna happen to like Brandon, like who's he gonna choose and why is he like doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just so highly recommend that.
Indeed, guys. Well, I think this will be it for today. There will be more episodes coming up with other animes to talk. So yeah, guys, please don't forget to favorite, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for supporting the channel. This has been Zarapunky.
This has been Shinja from Karibukai Play.
And I'll see you guys later.
Bye.